Hi, everybody. So, welcome to my live chat. I'm going to take a little moment before I get going here. Just wait till people get here. But today I wanted to talk about the the news that's going on, and I guess I chose "You're Fired" as the subject because it kind of captures both what's going on with Trump and Elon, as well as Blake Lively, and it ends with us saga. And I think I got a hair because there's a lot of things that are happening in the news, the world stage, that have to do with getting laid off, getting fired, and there's a lot of backlash from the left who don't seem to understand what's going on. Surprise. And I just thought we could talk about it. We could talk about anything that's going on right now, but I wanted to open with this because it's prevalent at the moment. And there's a lot happening. There's a lot happening in the world stage, and there's more plane crashes. There's more weirdness. There's a lot of truth coming out, and these things are turning things upside down. So if you're here, say hi. Let me know you're here. And I want to start with the whole Elon laying people off thing, because the majority of people, obviously, who voted for Trump and Elon, they get it. They understand what's going on. They know that these layoffs are to streamline and generate efficiency in the government, because there's a lot of inefficient spending. But the left has a problem understanding what's happening. And hi, Coco. And hi, Wolfie. So yeah, let me know if you're here, if you're watching. The left seems to have a problem understanding what's going on, because the mental gymnastics that they go through to interpret what's happening is shocking. At this stage, it's got to be willful ignorance. The people who are on the left, who have this perception of what Trump and Elon are doing, has to be willful ignorance. They have to be basically gathering all of their news through filtered mainstream media, not going to the source. And a lot of times these people they don't want to listen to the source, because they've created a block in their brain that tells them that this is bad, so don't look at this. And that's dangerous. You should always go to the source, right? So you have people who are willfully ignorant as well in the Justin and Blake case. It's like they don't want to know, and yet they form an opinion. And this was the thing that really kind of got me, is how these people think or don't think. It's a lack of thinking. And hello, say hi if you're here. So it's like a lack of thinking. It's they are not even processing things independently. They just regurgitate whatever's given to them. And so we have the situation with Blake and Justin, where people have already decided, based off of information that came out, say, really early, and then they won't look at anything else. And then, okay, so for example, there was a comment I read. Hi, Bowscat. Hi, if you're here. So there was a comment I read regarding the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively case. And this person was attacking this other commenter for saying that basically Justin was innocent and this is all trumped up fake stuff from Blake Lively. And this person replied saying, it's nice to know that you've decided this without it going to court. And so they had a bit of back and forth, and essentially this person who replied had decided that Blake Lively was actually a victim and that Justin was guilty. And the other person said, well, I've read the entire lawsuit from Justin Baldoni's side and Blake Lively's side, and I can see that Baldoni is telling the truth and Blake Lively is lying. And the person who was attacking this person was making fun of them for reading the whole case and then saying, I don't need to read the case. I know that she's telling the truth. So this person's making fun of the person for doing their research, for reading the whole case, saying they're wasting their time, and then making fun of them for deciding the outcome based off of the research they've made. And this person was like mocking them for that, and yet simultaneously has also made up their mind on the other side that Blake Lively is the victim. And this sort of thing happened with Amber Heard. It's like they latch onto something that fits into their narrative, fits into their existing paradigm and their ideology, and it doesn't matter what the truth is. They'll just gather information that fits the story and then filter out everything else because they don't need to see it. They don't need to know the truth. And this also goes hand in hand with people who put a lot of value on opinion. And yes, there's a difference between educated and informed opinion and baseless opinion. And people like this will equate opinions regardless as to whether there's actual substance behind it. So your opinion is valid as much as somebody else who's educated and informed and basing it off of facts and truth and research. That is not the case. Having an opinion is not of equal value. So this is all very fascinating, like mentally fascinating, psychologically fascinating, but also reading these people's comments is like a mind, it messes up your mind just reading their comments because they're so warped. They're so far out of the realm of reality, or whatever, you want to call reality, that it's painful to actually read it. So the thing that's going on with the Elon Musk and the Trump firings right now is another layer of mind warpery. So you have the Democrats and the corrupt politicians that are quaking in their boots because they don't want to get found out. And so they're poisoning the well with their rhetoric, telling people that Elon's going in with a chainsaw and the way that they're going about firing people is like butchering and causing all sorts of disruption, and they shouldn't be doing it this way. They should be Ninja Rabbit. Hello. Yeah, total clown show. I agree. From my perspective, the clown show's on the left. But like they're going in and clearing house, and the information that's coming out, I mean, granted, I see this all as a story anyway, so it doesn't matter whether it's legit true or not from my perspective. But everybody on the left are saying, I don't trust anything they say because they're liars, but they won't even look into it themselves to prove it to themselves. So what good is that? What good is it to say, I don't believe anything they say, and not back it up with research to prove it to yourself, whether it's true or not? So again, with the opinion, that's not hinged on anything. So then you've got like these people on the left-wing mainstream media, who are putting out flat out lies about what's happening, about these layoffs and these firings and clearing house and all of the fraud that's going on. And these lefties who are consuming this media are buying it and believing it because it's coming from mainstream media, and they don't question it, as opposed to actually researching it themselves, because most people are lazy. But like, what one question that people ought to be asking is, how is it possible that people could be so opposed, have such completely different perspectives on what's going on, and such a massive divide? Like, it's not just a few people here and there with odd opinions. You have half of the country, more than half of the country, on the side of Trump and Elon and backing them and saying that what they're doing is great and that's what they voted for and this is awesome. And they're showing us all the evidence of everything they're finding. And then you've got the other side with the left, who are opposed to it, saying that it's awful how these people are losing their jobs. I swear, they act as if nobody's ever been fired before. They act as if these people are getting killed instead of getting fired. And they act as if these people are not deserving of being fired. It just doesn't even make sense. So there's all these people on such polar opposites. Why doesn't it make both sides ask why they have this opinion, and look into it? And I think too, like, the people on the right, I think they have an idea as to why, because they understand mainstream media lies, and that's why they went to alternative media. And the people on the left are still believing mainstream media because most of it's leftist, and they haven't actually realized that they're being lied to. So they feel like there's no need to do any research because, well, if I watch the news, they tell me the truth, right? So why would I go any further? But why wouldn't you question what the news is telling you when it's flat out telling you such opinionated perspectives, when the news is supposed to be neutral? The way in which it's being presented on the news is just so slanted. How would you not even recognize that it's poisoned? So we got a couple of comments here. It's a small percentage of the federal government workers. Yeah, so far it's a very small percentage, John Demas. I agree. Oh, Lloyd Bike, hello. Yeah, it's so far a very small percentage, and every president who's come in to power, into office, has had layoffs. So it's not like this is the first time, which is bizarre why people are reacting this way. It's not like this is unprecedented. I mean, it is in how public it is and how they're exposing the fraud. The transparency has to be there. And while we're talking about transparency, if you noticed, that was a trend in the Grammys. The dresses were transparent, and this is sort of on theme for what's happening this year, the transparency and showing everything and revealing the truth. So that's why that was happening. And we got Bub's Cat. Elon is covering his own tracks. Fired 5 inspector generals so far, looking into his company's crooked as a barrel of satanic snakes. I haven't heard that, but if you have some evidence, send it my way. But I have not heard that. And it's possible it's coming from leftist media, because I don't see why he would be doing that. I heard Gates students became important workers on the stage. Can you elaborate, Coco? I'm not sure I understand your comment. Gates students? You mean Bill Gates? P, anyone else see Trump praise the Pfizer guy? I did hear about it, but I didn't see the clip, so I can't say. Like I heard he said he was a good businessman. But that's all I heard. So I didn't hear him say it from his mouth, so I can't really say. Ninja Rabbit, my sis is a VA nurse. They are hysterical. They all got emails to show what they did production wise last week. Yeah, I heard about that. I heard that Elon sent out emails, I think yesterday, just asking people to send a quick email back with 5 things they did last week. I don't understand why that's problematic. I mean, how hard is it for you to tell people what you did last week? It's a whole week. It's not a day. It's not, what did you do in the last hour? Tell me 5 things you did in the last hour. It's a whole week. What did you do? And if you can't answer what you did in a week, you shouldn't have a job. I mean, why does that instill panic in anybody? That doesn't make sense to me. So I find that shocking that people are reacting hysterically, like you say, because it isn't something that they should be reacting to. But I'm also hearing, again, this is hearsay, but I'm also hearing from people who have worked in government positions, and they're saying that the majority of people who work there do absolutely nothing. They barely even come into work. They don't do anything. And then there's like the 20% of people who actually do the work, and those people take the brunt of the dead weight of the 80%. So if that's the case, then the 80% has got to go. I mean, I'm in Canada. I mean, we have just as much waste as America. So I'm all for them purging the crap that's in Canada as well. And there was a poll asked, I think it was by the National Post, asking if we should be doing that here. I totally agree we should. And Canada has its own problems. I don't know if I should get into that, but basically we have Trudeau's resigned, but he's looking for a replacement. And there's all sorts of drama in that because he's nominated this guy who hasn't even lived in the country. So that's not legal. And also they booted out 2 contenders saying they don't qualify. I don't know the details behind this, but people are not happy about that either. So basically they're trying to force this guy into the prime minister position without an election. So this person will be placed as prime minister basically because the powers that be want him there, and we have nothing to say about it. And then we're supposed to be going for an election in October, and our candidates suck. I mean, we've got this guy who's being placed in the head of the Liberal Party. He's awful and worse than Trudeau, from what I gather. And then we've got this other guy, Pierre Poilievre, who's also not great. Essentially, we need someone to come in and clean house like Trump, basically, it's my opinion. He doesn't even need to be as drastic, but someone who's got a backbone, someone who is going to stand up to these people and get rid of the World Economic Forum, get rid of the poison that's in our government, get rid of all. Like, I also saw that they were exposing the emails that were exchanged between Theresa Tam, who was the head of the health department for the federal government during COVID, and there's like 450,000 emails. I think that was what it was, which is atrocious number of emails for people to go through. But the public is willing to sort through it to find out proof of what she was up to. And they're already on it. And so this, again, is what I love about what's going on, is that the people are getting involved and the people are exposing this stuff and the people are saying enough already. And this has to happen because power has to be returned to the people. Where are we? The GATE program. I haven't heard of the GATE program. Thanks, Coco. Ninja Rabbit, they all got emails. I already read that. The Healthy American, Peggy Hall, she's a shill, did a breakdown of Elon's outstanding lawsuits. Peggy is a nonpartisan researcher. No, she's a shill. Flat out shill. Because half of them don't work. Yeah, they don't. They don't do anything. Coco, there were two groups in the GATE program, those who became government officials and those who are watched. Okay. Is there more to that? I don't know anything about the GATE program. John Demas, Canada, our 51st state. Yeah, what do you think of that? I'm personally okay with it. like I love Canada. However, the state of our country is falling to pieces. And the way in which it's being run, thanks to Trudeau, and I mean, it's not just him, it's the people who are behind him and manipulating him and working with him, and the entire government, basically. Our country's in the toilet, just like America, and we need somebody to come in and sort it out. And chances are, the way things are going, that's probably going to happen. If it doesn't happen, the people will not be having it. And right now we've got this ridiculous uproar from leftist Canadians, brainwashed leftist Canadians, booing Americans at a hockey game for the national anthem, which is atrocious and disgusting behavior, led by the Prime Minister. And then we got another Canadian artist changing the lyrics, protesting against Trump. And I'm like, God, keep politics out of it. Come on. And it seems to me like this is just being pushed. It's propaganda being pushed to make it seem like Canada is now opposed to the United States, just like Europe is opposed to the United States. I don't think that's generally the case. I think a lot of people are brainwashed, but I think more people are on the side of this is positive for not just America, but for the world. And that's because the majority of people voted for Trump in the United States. There's more people commenting. Granted, it's on Twitter, and Twitter seems to be more right-leaning now that all the lefties have left because of Elon. But there's a lot of people on there who are supportive of massive change in Canada. The 51st state, they're actually okay with it. They understand that Trudeau was the one who actually said that Canada would become redundant if we didn't have this trade imbalance. And then that led to Trump saying, well, you should just become part of America. And so it was actually Trudeau that started the whole conversation. And now Trudeau's taken it and projected it onto Trump and made it his problem and made it him who started the whole thing. And he didn't. So there's this massive backlash from lefties in Canada. And there are a lot of people in Canada who are supportive of it because our country sucks right now. And a lot of countries in this world suck right now because of the infiltration of World Economic Forum and everything that happened as a result of 2020. So, yeah, something has to happen. Something has to give. And the way that things are going, there's going to be massive change anyway. And the way things are going, it's possible that Canada could become part of the United States. I'm not ruling it out. But I don't think Trump is trying to invade Canada, and I don't think Trump is trying to do anything awful. It's just a matter of business that Canada is going to be in trouble if we don't have this trade imbalance, because we're a smaller country. We're 10% the size of America. And so, we need our neighbors to the south. We need them. And, there's things that they need from us, but they're a bigger country, and our little 10% isn't going to make much of a damage to the United States, but them pulling away from us is going to make a massive problem for us. Where are we here? Bubscat, final phase of implementation of the Panopticon digital prison grid. I don't know what that means. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. King Bags. Hello, true love. What's esoteric this week? I don't know. You tell me. I'll pass on their AI, Skynet governance, wet dream, psycho nightmare. Well, Bubscat, I think you have a bit of a negative perspective there, and you're caught up in the fear stuff. And I think that's not the perspective that I have. And hopefully you find your way out of it, because yeah, it's not what you think it is. Coco, have you watched the Netflix Black Mirror episode Bandersnatch? I have indeed. Yes, it is. I recommend watching it. It's interesting. I've watched Peggy from day one. She's got 109% track record. That's great. I still say she's a shill. Yes, she has, because I've watched her too. She's shady as can get out. She's shady, shill. John Demas, I would love Canada to be part of the US. Oh, that's nice. I would too. I think it'd be great. I think like the people, Americans and Canadians, we get along really well. I think they're really good people. And it would be really nice to just get rid of the border and just get along. I mean, we're kind of like brother, sister, or whatever anyway. Why have this? We don't have any need for animosity or anything. Yes, there's like unique things about Canada, but those unique things can still stay. I don't know. I don't see anything really wrong with it. Our identity is so weak anyway. I mean, if you look at our identity that was sort of paraded around during the Olympics, was it when was that? I forget now. But the Winter Olympics, where we had the inflatable beavers and stuff, which was totally embarrassing. Our country is a joke, and we barely take ourselves seriously as a country. So how can we expect any other countries to take us seriously? Our currency is called a loony and a toonie, for crying out loud. I mean, it's like our country's a cartoon. So if we expect a country like America to take us seriously, and I say America, like United States, to take us seriously, we got to take ourselves seriously. And our country is made up of a lot of people who are pushovers. We don't stand for anything. And, we're worldwide known for saying, excuse me and sorry, and which is nice. We're polite and friendly and everything, and everybody likes us, but we don't stand up for ourselves. So if there was ever a time we need to stand up for ourselves, it's now. And either we merge with the US or we do something to sort out our government, and it has to be done from the people. So like we tried to do something in COVID times, but the government didn't like it. And, a lot of people were brainwashed to oppose it. And we gotta start doing something. We have a great country here, and there's a lot of beautiful things about it, but it's also being infiltrated. It's also has a border problem, has a PC woke agenda problem. There's a lot of problems, and those problems have to be addressed. So, yeah. Where are we? Predictive programming. What are we going back to? Oh, what are we predicting? What's a predictive programming, King Bags? What's happening? Lloyd Bike, you shared a link before, how to detect shill manipulation behaviors. Can you share the link? You still have it? I guess that was a video I put out some time ago. It should be on my website, or it should be in my feed somewhere. It's like a 3-minute video or something where I break down how to detect a shill. But yeah, you should be able to find it in my feed, if it's still there. I might have taken it down, but I don't think so. I think it's still there. Ninja Rabbit, imagine making six figures from the government with identity politics degree. Yeah, I can build a house. You have to work hard to get six figures as a carpenter. Many six-figure government workers are incompetent. Yeah, most government workers are incompetent. I mean, it's kind of a running joke here that government workers are incompetent. It was also a running joke that once you get a government job, you don't get fired. And that's probably why they're all crying and wailing and freaking out, because they had this expectation that they would never get fired, which is ridiculous because layoffs happen in the government all the time, especially with every turnover. So I don't know why they're surprised, but most government workers are lazy and do nothing and they expect to coast. So that's got to come to an end. All government is under the umbrella of the 13 families. Anything that happens is their design, their plan. We're being led to the slaughter. That's pretty dire position, Bubscat. But again, I do not agree with that angle. And yes, the 13 families, it's all a play. It's a show. It's not what you think it is. And we're not being led to the slaughter. They're trying to wake you up. That's why this is happening. It's all a wake-up call. Ninja Rabbit, if we do invade, hopefully it doesn't turn into 1812. Yeah, I don't think you're going to invade Canada. If America invaded, if the United States invaded Canada, Canada would be toast. We don't have the military like the United States does. The people who are opposed to it are, rainbow-haired, blue-haired, nose-pierced, largely. There are exceptions, obviously, but they're like the people who speak loudly, but they don't do anything. We're talking about Canadians. They will moan and complain, but they won't do anything. So I don't see, if the United States tried to invade Canada, I tell you now, they could walk across the border, stick a flag in the ground and say it's ours, and there would be no opposition. It would be that easy because Canadians would be like, oh, well, it's like, I mean, that's my opinion. Like, we do have a military and we do have people who are annoyed. They might pick up a hockey stick or something, but I doubt it. Where are we here? No fear awareness of Zionist power play in motion. Well, okay. P, all the Canadians I met were always friendly. Yeah. I mean, most of the Americans I've ever met are really friendly. I mean, I actually find Americans even friendlier, like go out of your way friendlier than Canadians for the most part. But I think that's also down to luck. I mean, there's a lot of Americans who are dangerous and there's a lot of Canadians who are dangerous, and, it depends on your interaction with them. But yeah, I think on the whole, most people are friendly everywhere. But yeah, particularly I think Americans and Canadians are very friendly. King Bags, Lenape from here to Canada. What's Lenape? Bubscat, Peggy's a shill. People have the power. Got it. How silly of me to think otherwise. Okay, no need for sarcasm. King Bags, it's South Park being dissing y'all forever. Okay. Woke is globalism. Yeah, well, yeah, like I think what you're trying to say, or what you're saying, is like the woke agenda is the globalism agenda from the World Economic Forum type of thing. And they've infiltrated all the governments. King Bags, what happened to the Filipina reptile lady in Canada? Was she a shill? I don't know who you're talking about. Who's this? True douche is the problem. P, yeah, totally, he is a problem. Stephen Snow, a shady shill for who? Find her casts informative like the recent fires. Just surprised to hear that. Are you talking about Peggy? Yeah, she's a shell. So, for who? The government? I mean, she's controlled opposition. King Bags, Canadians still believe in NASA. People still believe in NASA. There's loads of Americans, there's loads of people all over the world believe in NASA. I just saw a picture that was circulated from Saturn, and people were saying how great it is because it looks so awesome and so real. And it's like, no, it doesn't. It's a painting. So they still believe in NASA. They still think it's real. King Bags, Auguste Picard. Okay. US is not going to invade Canada. No, I don't think they are either. I think people are just losing their minds for no reason. They're just taking things and going to extremes, and the media is making out like it's dangerous and be problematic, and people are just hysterical about whatever comes out of Trump's mouth. King Bags, they will eye you to get to death. Who? Interaction and intuition. The lady had a video on Vice News, and she was making people protest the police and telling Canadians the government was reptiles. I don't know who that is, but if she was on Vice is garbage. But yeah, it sounds like shill behavior, totally. So I would say yes, based off of that. Like, the NPCs are all mad about politics, multiple ticks like a clock, politics. That's cute. NASA 10, NASA 10, C10. Yeah, well, I mean, it's just a play. I mean, a lot of people get caught up in the evil. I mean, I've made so many videos about the evil, and people still don't get it. It's like, I can't, if you don't get it, go back and watch them 100 times until you do, because it's just a play. It's a play. It's not real. So you got to get out of the 3D mindset that this is like an us versus them war, and they're out to kill us, out to get us, they're in control. All like that whole narrative, you got to let it go. You got to find a way out of it, because sitting in that narrative and believing this awful evil thing is happening, you're going to be stuck there. So the whole thing that's happening right now is a hugely positive thing. With whatever is happening with Trump is hugely positive. He's clearing out the old system to bring in the new system. He's doing so with transparency. He's getting the people involved. He's putting power in the hands of the people. He's overturning everything. And this has to happen. It's part of the play. It's part of the flip-flop. So, yeah, I don't really want to talk about that anymore. If you're not in that place, then go back and watch my videos about the evil, because I don't know how else to explain it anymore. I was joking about invasion. Not a space agency. Arthur Hill, hello. It's a circus under the big top. Indeed it is. Ninja Rabbit, SpaceX is NASA now. Well, this is where I have a problem with Elon. Like, I agree with what's going on. I think it's all positive and good stuff. It's still a play, and it has to happen. And that's all positive. But in terms of Elon and his stupid SpaceX program, and people still believing in space, and him not going in there and investigate, you got to send people into NASA. Send people into NASA and investigate what's going on over there, because They are doing nothing. And then they got to investigate SpaceX. And that's where the problem comes in with Elon being part of Doge, because they have to, they're sending a lot of money over to SpaceX. And sure, they might be legit making rockets, but for what purpose? Because they can't go anywhere. You can't go into space. There's no space to go. So it's what is all this money going towards? What is actually going on over there? That's got to be exposed. The ticks and the talks, because the world is a clock. Time exists in this world. Saturn, Yahweh, Cronus, the god of the harvest, god of time, rules. He's time itself. He's also the death, grim reaper. Indeed. P, all theater. Yep. King bags, pure theater. Yeah, but you're part of the theater too. It's not just out there, right? You're part of the show. Ninja Rabbit, they're all obviously actors on a stage. You're an actor on stage too. You're part of it. It's all the same show. So it's not just them. You are part of it. On a stage, they television to show something. Yeah, but they're telling you so that you wake up to who you really are. Memetic magic? What's memetic? 33. It's so real it looks fake. It's real because it looks so fake. See, this is it. Like, Elon sends a stupid car into space, and then he says stuff like it's real because it looks so fake. So he knows. I mean, you can't tell me he doesn't know, because he never sent that car into space. He damn well knows what's going on. So at some point, SpaceX and NASA have to be exposed. Has to. It might happen at the very end after they do their job, but it's got to happen. Interstellar works perfectly, explains how manifestation works as well. John Demas, Elon is just making rockets to put satellites up in the lower atmosphere. Yeah, but I don't even know how those work. Like, they got to be balloons or something, or drones or something like that. Space isn't literal. Space is, as in more space. Space is length. Time is the measurement of length. Time works differently based on distance. I think Interstellar movie explains how time works. Well, time and space are the same thing in different explanations, obviously. Like, time measures distance as well as space. So it's like a rhythm and a beat and a frequency. So we need time and space in order to make sense of this reality. Otherwise, it would be too much, because everything is now. We need to have the illusion of time and space. So when people say there is no such thing as time, I don't agree. There is. We literally live on a clock. We can't exist without it, because we need time and space in order to make sense of the now moment. It's an illusion, but it does exist. So just because it's an illusion does not mean it's not real. And then to get out of time, again, is a perception, and it's a perception of living in the now moment. So that's really all it is. That's why it's an illusion. King Bags, he's Apollo, the god of destruction. Who? Trump? Apollo is not the god of destruction. He's Apollo. Apollo is Mercury. He's a messenger. Arthur Hill, we are all stars on the silver screen. Space. Indeed we are. King Bags, meme-matic. Oh, okay. Are you looking forward to the new Stranger Things 11 times 3 is 33 shows like White Lotus, The Last of Us coming soon? What's The Last of Us? I haven't watched White Lotus. I did watch the trailer. I do like Stranger Things. I'm kind of over it now. But I probably will watch it. But at the moment, I can't watch anything dark. I've had my fill of dark stuff. I need a break. Perhaps there is an outside realm they're exploring. They can't get out. How are they going to explore an outside realm if they can't get out? You can't leave. The only way out is in. King Bags, Silicon Valley, Silly Putty Valley. Hello, Mickey Mouse Operation. Greetings all. Hit the like button. King Bags 33, Mickey Mouse Operation 311. PL, what's your guess as to where humanity will be in 10 years? From my, I don't like to predict stuff. I don't, but I can say where we're headed is in terms of this whole world will be completely unrecognizable. We'll be manifesting things. We'll be operating off of a completely different system. Everything will be automated off of AI and blockchain. It's not going to be the evil that people think it is. Life will be so much easier. The energy will have shifted, and everything is going to be more feminine dominated. There'll be more of a balance. And there might still be some chaos from the upheaval, but I think this, because we're still in transition, but there'll be more balance because we're coming out of the negative chaos into the positive now. That's basically all I can say. Like I said, I don't like predicting stuff because who knows what's coming. We live in a simulation. Simulacrum. I don't like that term because to me that is connected to that guy who's a total shill, and I don't agree with anything he says. Mickey Mouse Operation Janice. What are we talking about? Ninja Rabbit. Heard of the 2032 comet, supposedly? I think I've heard of some comet. I don't pay attention to the comets because they're not real. So I've heard of something. Apollo is the god of the sun, music, childhood teaching, poetry, and art, brother to Artemis, goddess of the moon, the hunt. Apollo is actually also Mercury. It's a phase of Mercury. There's 3 faces of Mercury, and Apollo is one of them. Mickey Mouse Operation. Hello, true love. You got to get in to get out. Yeah. King Bags 2032 Comet 223. Well, it's 232. Idiocracy for sure. It will be almost utopian unless you can't transition your mind to the new frequency, Arthur Hill. I would agree with that for sure. Because there's a great divide, obviously, as we're witnessing. And there are the people who are waking up and the people who are still asleep. And years ago, we were talking about this, like there would be a divide, and it's a frequency divide. So people who are waking up are going to be moving into using law of assumption, manifestation. They're going to be aligned to Christ consciousness. They're not going to be participating in the old system. They will make use of the 3D tools and the technology and everything, but eventually that will become obsolete because we won't need it, or it will be like almost merged because it's one and the same thing. So basically the same sort of thing. It will become obsolete because we are the technology. Mickey Mouse Operation Crocs and PJs at work. Maybe you won't even need to work. Utopia. Utopia. Yeah. Ninja Rabbit, the golden age. Yeah, it's going to be a golden age. We're going to be in a situation where we will be either not working, or we will be the resource, in the sense that our value comes from who we are, what we know, and we make, um, I guess you'd say we make money from what we know and our passions and our expertise, and it's not any longer like all of the mundane tasks will be taken care of by AI and robots and stuff. So our time will be freed up to enjoy life more and do things that we love. And there are things that robots and AI can't replicate that humans can do, that we still need. Like the human experience, for example, can't be replicated by an AI. So things like that. There's going to be a lot more time for leisure. We'll be able to, I mean, when you look back at the great art that was created during the last golden age, we'll be able to work on things like that now, and also be tapping into higher frequencies to create better and more beautiful things. Get rid of all of this boxy, crappy architecture and replace it with something beautiful again. The golden cow, the golden dawn. Apollo rides a swan too. Benny, yes, that whole Jason is a shill bag. Yeah, he's a total shill. One of the worst. Mickey Mouse operation. I think more like Atlas Shrugged. People will separate sheep, wolves. Yeah, it's like the followers or the leaders, the people who woke up and the people who are asleep. The Great Divide. What's an anagram? King Bags. Coco, I thought Mercury was Hermes. He is. Apollo be closer to Helios, god of the sun, the messenger god. Hermes, deliver message from the gods, for example, wisdom as a gift from Athena or Minerva. Yeah, I've heard that too, but I've looked into Apollo is also Mercury. So yeah, there's some crossover or miscommunication or something. Mickey Mouse operation, just like the contact observation, verification, identification. What? Apollo is the same person. Yeah. Welcome to Costco. I love you. Apollo is said to beat Hermes in a race, Hermes being god of aesthetics. This shows how Apollo sends messages on his own, usually creativity and artistic energy. Apollon is not Apollo. No. Apollyon is not Apollo. It's not the same thing. I know a lot about Apollo. Apollo is not a destroyer. Well, unless he's helping his sister, they merge like an eclipse. Apollo is also his muse who all help in the arts. When everyone's needs become fulfilled by AI and automation, we will finally get to find our true selves. We are witnessing the first wave of this, and that's why people are freaking out. For sure, Arthur. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Because people don't know what they're going to do with themselves. They've been lying to themselves for so long about who they are and what's important to them, and basing everything on the 3D physical and putting their value on the external. And then they have to face themselves. It's going to be scary. And, all these people getting laid off and fired, because the reason the government is laying everybody off is because it's going to be run on AI and blockchain. There's not going to be a government. So they're doing this actually gradually so that people can get accustomed to the efficiency that's going to be put in place. So eventually it's going to be run by the people on the blockchain through the use of AI. And they can't just immediately switch to that platform because people will, freak out, let's say. So we have to go in stages. And this is part of the stage. And the reason that they're finding all of this information partly is because of the use of AI. All of the fraud they're uncovering in record time, they're using AI to uncover it. So, yeah. Where are we? You're having a debate in the chat about who's who. Yeah, like there's a lot of crossover with these gods. Janice 88 Nazi garbage? I don't understand. Jason is an MK Ultra, in my opinion. There are people that are creating cults so they can use their own storylines by means of others' imaginations for this next shift. I wouldn't want to be in Jason's world. Well, that's an interesting perspective. I don't buy into the whole MK Ultra thing, but I understand the thought behind it. But basically, yeah, it is cult-like, absolutely, and it is problematic. It is I don't know why people believe him. I really don't. And not only do they believe him, but they buy into so much, to such an extent that they basically worship the guy, which is dangerous. We are God. We are two in one, Arthur, for sure. They do merge, yes. Gods merge and they separate. So that's what I mean. Like there's crossover and there's some confusion sometimes. So it's difficult to say definitively sometimes. Sometimes it's very clear, and other times there are gods who are representative of phases of certain aspects, and they have multiple names and multiple faces, and they have multiple frequencies. So like the Roman gods and the Greek gods, they're the same god taking care of the same territory and the same energy, but slightly shifted, which is why they have a different pantheon, because they're in a different phase or eon of the zodiac. So it's a different frequency. So they're similar enough to say that they're equivalent, but there'll be some differences. And so, yeah, this is why it's difficult to pinpoint precisely. And then there's crossover and there's confusion. So, yeah, sometimes it's difficult. So from what I prefer to do is just look at their symbolism and what they are actually reflecting, and look at that, because that's more reliable than saying that he's this or that, because he can be, but it's difficult to sort of pinpoint exactly, because while he's likely that archetype, I don't know how to put this, but yeah, there's nuances. Batman, Joker, Boaz, Yakin, indeed. Ever watch his Dark Material? The main character is called Lyra because she's a liar. Her demon soul is named Pan. Your soul is the opposite gender, and dust from the series is gnosis or wisdom. Someone brought up Apollo wearing a lyra. Only a liar can read the golden compass. Golden compass tells stories, but only Lyra understood the symbolism. We should have an esoteric movie marathon, rent a theater, and have an open discussion afterwards. Arthur Hill. Yeah, I thought of doing that. Actually, I thought it would be a lot of fun, and but we need a bigger audience. The right of the books, his dark materials, spoke of how mad he was at Christians wanted to ban the Harry Potter books when his work was occult books for kids. Who are we talking about here, Coco? The villains, the Magitrian is also the Church Between Worlds. It's a good book series. Okay, you lost me now. Mickey Mouse Operation, I do not stand under. I know what you mean. Study constantly for a long time. That's why Janice, he is a pawn in a script. My favorite esoteric movie is Dr. Sleep. I don't think I've heard of that one. Oh, I know what you mean. Okay. Dr. Sleep is good, but very tough to watch. We are Abra and they are the Hats. Huh? I don't know what you're talking about. Roast the Hat. Phil Pullman, who wrote his Dark Materials, you might know as the Golden Compass, it has angels, dark matter, multiple world theory, witches. I don't know Phil Pullman. Dr. Sleep was Stanley Kubrick's book, and Stephen King stole it, and they had a beef. Yeah. I'm not a Stephen King person, and I'm not a horror person. I don't really like dark stuff that much. So, but anyhow, yeah, so the other thing was we were touching on lightly the whole Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni situation, and how they went to Saturday Night Live and were in the audience and made a joke, which is really distasteful considering Ryan Reynolds' wife is filing a lawsuit against somebody allegedly for sexual harassment, and he's making light of it on television in front of her, which if it was real, I would be appalled if that was my husband doing that to me. That's horrendous. And people are outraged that Saturday Night Live is supporting this nonsense. But also before that, they had Tom Hanks pedo on there, pushing this, mocking Trump supporters, not Trump, but Trump supporters. And so Saturday Night Live has basically trashed themselves. It's like they've thrown themselves under the bus on purpose. And their time is limited because not many people are going to want to watch them after this. And all of this, like this Blake Lively thing, the reason it's called It Ends With Us is because they're going to bring down the entire Hollywood system, it seems. Everything they're doing is connected to everything else. They're connected to Sony and Disney and Taylor Swift. And so that's the music industry, and WME, which is one of the biggest talent agencies in Hollywood, and the media, New York Times. And they're bringing down the entire infrastructure with this case that is totally unsubstantiated. So this whole process is turning everything upside down, which is why it ends with us. I think this is the end of Hollywood. This case is going to bring out everything. And this case, in line with what's happening with Trump and Elon, bringing out the truth about everything. And then they got the JFK files, the Epstein files, they got P. Diddy case that's going south rapidly. They've got 9/11, COVID truth. All of that's about to be released. And all of this is going to shatter pretty much everything. So, hey, if you're here and you can click the like button, I'd really appreciate it. So yeah, you've got all of this going on. It's going to bring down the system pretty much all at once. And a lot of these organizations are seemingly doing it like willingly, like Saturday Night Live, doing it willingly, which is fascinating. And then, New York Times, all of these institutions, and then there's like MSNBC, The View, they're tanking. And then there's also Candace Owens. Candace Owens, who is now covering what's happened with Macron and his wife and exposing all of that, which is fascinating. So exposing the trans agenda, which is going to start there, and it's just going to snowball after that, because the people who watch her channel, they know about the trans infiltration. And so they're starting to tell her about it, saying, hey, look into Obama. And when the Obama thing comes out, that's going to be really quite a hammer to the American government system. And all the trannies and trans fakers, the ones who aren't telling the truth about what they are, who they are, that's going to be a big problem. And so they're trying to tell Candace to look into these things. And she has quite a massive following, and she has quite a massive mainstream following. So all of the things that we were researching, 7 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever, everybody, like for me, it was, all of that is now coming to the surface for the mainstream. So can you imagine what that's going to do on a grand scale to the masses, to the public, when they get hit with this all at once? And they get hit with it all at once. So this is why the divide had to happen, because the people who aren't ready for it, the ones who are lying to themselves, they're going to stay on the left. They'll be protected because they can't handle it. The people who are ready for it, the ones who sort of got truthered along the way from 2020, they can handle it. They want to hear it. They want to know. They've been researching this stuff since 2020. They're ready to hear it. And the lefties, they're either going to get hit with a big whammy or they're going to stay in the dark. And that's why the sifting, sorting had to happen. So, where are we here? Got some astral projection scene was very accurate on how it works. No doctor sleep was about adrenochrome and masons with hats as energy vampires getting destroyed by an intuitive. I can't imagine being a movie producer and someone comes in my office and pitches a movie with that pitch. Oh yeah, that sounds great. Let's do it. Have you seen Bill and Ted? Two simple-minded guys save the world by spreading the message of love by being excellent to each other. I have seen it, actually. I watched it not too long ago. Everybody loves Keanu Reeves. SNL is absolute shit now. Yeah, it's terrible. Excellent, party on. SNL's trash. Yeah, I haven't watched SNL for decades because it just tanked long ago. Oh, hey, Katie. Good catch. It ends with us. Title, Hollywood is being mean girl boy exposed. Yeah. Diddy, etc. Indeed, Katie. Starseed Awakening. Bring back Luigi. Yeah, what happened to Luigi? Where's he? What? I want to know what happened to his story. I think It Ends With Us is very similar to the movie. I'm thinking of Ending Things, which is about a person in a story realizes they're not real and it's just someone's story in their head. Oh, I've never heard of I'm Thinking of Ending Things, but that's interesting. But yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's just a story in somebody's head. 2025 will bring the dark into the light. Yeah, it's certainly doing that. Some people aren't ready for that kind of truth. That's true, P. They're not. Double Agent Diddy, nah, I'm good. Popcorn, shatter the USA corporation's credit. Yeah, all that's going to go. All the taxes are going to go. Like, all of it has to go because it's the old system and they have to move it to the new system, which is blockchain, and they don't need to do that because there'll be micropayments for everything. It'll be paid for directly through usage payments. Candace Easton Starr Owens, yeah, well, she's part of the system. I mean, it's a deliberate leak, right? It's a deliberate release. Ninja Rabbit, The Age of Disclosure. Brett Cooper, Ben Shapiro's long lost twin, and also kicked from the Daily Wire. Yeah, you notice how many people are kicked from the Daily Wire, end up with their own channels, and then start leaking truth stuff? Like, they're not actually kicked from the Daily Wire. They're still working for the Daily Wire. Katie, the horror story is being revealed so the true love story can even be. Yeah. Yeah, it's got to be revealed so that the one story, the true story, gets revealed. I would bet Taylor Swift is trans along with Brooke Shields. Oh, for sure. Totally. If you watch her documentary, total boy. I mean, my own mom said fluoride was bad the other day. Starseed Awakening. If Megan Fox is a dude, I'm done. Okay, well, you better start packing. Many are waking up. Mickey Mouse operations. They will probably crash the net before it's revealed. Before what's revealed? Fluoride makes you a zombie. Trans people were seen as very spiritual in the past. No to work in the theaters, plays, fortune telling. Yep, I know. I've heard of that. King Bags, I swear, watch it. Oh, okay. That movie you were talking about. Can you I don't know if I'll remember it. Mickey Mouse Operation, the revolution will not be televised. I don't know, maybe it will. Everything's televised these days. it'll be on YouTube. Streamed on TikTok. Celebrities so love trans issues. Billie Eilish is always half dressing like a man. All celebrities are in the theater influence business. Luigi Man is phony. Oh, you guys are funny today. Beast System. Luigi Man the Lonely. This is like Kyle Rittenhouse. Do people believe these stories are real? Sam Bankman Fried. Yeah, I know. Like, their names are so obvious. The world is updating and defragging. I'm low-key expecting to meet the architect from the Matrix in a room with LTVs. Hey, if you do, will you film it and put it on YouTube so we can all watch? All their names say what they did. Travis Scott rhymes with Tavistock, and Langley is, yeah, JFK 911 COVID. To me, JFK sounds like just effing kidding. King Bangs, that's why, Bags, that's why it's LOL, because I told her that like a decade ago and she blew me off. Sorry, what are you talking about? Dr. Sleep is really good. All the powers in the movies are accurate to know how it works. The names are funny. It helps to make it not so, ugh. Sabrina Carpenter, I heard, has ties to the movie Rosemary's Baby. Carpenter, her music pays note to the movies such as Death Becomes Her. I don't know about that. I have not heard anything, so I can't say. All right, well, I'm going to close this down, but thank you very much for participating. Great chat, and appreciate all your comments today. If you can, give this video a thumbs up. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much, and have a good day. Bye for now.